Phil. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about two recent releases in the jazz genre that came out about a week ago on vinyl for the first time since early 1970s repress. In one instance, there was a repress, I believe, about 20 years ago on a small label, but getting proper audiophile releases. Of course, the first of those I am talking about a wonderful jazz album from Joe Henderson, and this one is Tetragon, the Joe Henderson Quartet. Now, this here is a fantastic release. Yeah. Now, this here is a fantastic release on that Milestone label, and you can see here the pipe sticker, Jazz Dispensary Top Shelf Series, have put out quite a few fantastic reissues in recent years. It says tenor sax legend Joe Henderson's long out of print post-bop classic, recorded with two different quartets featuring Ron Carter, Don Friedman, Jack DeJohnette, Kenny Barron, and Louis Hayes. AAA lacquers cut from the original master tapes by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio and pressed on 180-gram vinyl at Fidelity Record Pressing and housed in a tip-on jacket. Well, the 180-gram vinyl I literally could care less about because, am I wrong? It seems like almost all of my 180-gram records have warps in them. Now, I don't know if that has to do with the thickness of the vinyl and it's allow the time for it to cool takes longer, and so it warps more easily. I'm not sure, but this is a fantastic recording, and you can see the just absolute wonderful interview that's on the back of the jacket. That's an original interview with Joe Henderson and Orrin Keepnews, and it talks a lot about the decision to record two different sessions. One of those sessions was recorded May 16th, 1968, and the other was recorded in September of 1967. The two different quartets, one was, of course, Joe Henderson on the tenor sax, Don Friedman on the piano, Ron Carter on the bass, and Jack DeJohnette on the drums. And the other one was Kenny Barron on the piano and Louis Hayes on the drums. It's a fantastic output from Milestone. And the thing that's really just beautiful about this is it lets you hear how musicians, side by side, you can hear how they sound different. In fact, right away, it's obvious on the tracks that Kenny Barron is on that it's Kenny Barron, if you're familiar with his style and the passion that he puts onto those keys is very different than Don Friedman. Neither bad, but definitely for me distinguishable. Absolute wonderful banger of a release. I highly recommend this one. Now, the next album, originally released in the year 1966, with that one pressing repress in the year 2006, I believe. Has just come out again. And the hype sticker, of course, from the Verve Vault, the greatest artists, their greatest recordings straight from the vault, beloved jazz classics from Verve, Impulse, Mercury, and more, all titles cut from the original analog tapes by Ryan K. Smith at Sterling Sound, and of course pressed on 180-gram vinyl. And it is this beauty, the beautiful, beautiful Gabor Szabo Spellbinder. Now, this album is absolutely mesmerizing. It's magical. If you're not familiar, Gabor, a Brazilian jazz guitarist, really fused together a lot of those samba sounds, if you will. And the tracks on this, you have a Spellbinder leading us off, taking us through. You have Gypsy Queen there, of course, covered by Carlos Santana on Abraxas, and this is just an absolute banger of an album. I highly recommend it. And you can see the reproduction is so faithful to that original gatefold, and it's the only thing that I wish. Now, I understand putting the UPC symbol on there. Clearly, I understand that, but I wish that all the little about the website and all that stuff. It's a minor nitpick. I wish that was reserved for something else, like maybe a on the hype sticker. Might be kind of cool, but anyways, absolute beautiful. And by the way, the beautiful artwork here also produced by the producer of the album, Bob Thiel. But it is just an absolute Rudy Van Gelder, of course, original, did this, and sitting back listening to this in the quiet of the vinyl, the sound stage just completely enveloping. The Joe Henderson one is no slouch, but this takes the cake for me between the two reissues. This one just transports you to another realm. It is just an absolute mind trip of an album, especially if you're a guitar lover. This is an album that will not disappoint 100%. Ryan Smith, I'd love to hear an original pressing, but this pressing here is magic. It truly shines. And so short and sweet, I highly recommend both of these jazz reissues. Yeah, Record Store Day is coming up fast, man. Got to start watching what we do with those new releases, correct? Anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave your comments below. I'd be interested to hear if you have heard either of these in their original presentations and compared them yourselves. I'd love to know if there is a comparison and which one wins out that shootout. Until then, remember, there's magic in these grooves. I'll see you next time.